The phenomenon of hearing these days so many new languages on the streets of Dublin, other than English, is the impulse behind the next poem. It is essentially a poem about the changing mix of the city in yet another episode of its evolution, and how the forms of that change can be traced in the voices heard on the streets and around us. That also reflects a change in what Irishness may become in the future. And the poem also ponders who these new citizens will be and how time will distance them from the city and the country of my own generation. New languages. When I heard the new languages, peculiar idioms on the street, I heard Africa and Gdansk in broken fragments, and knew the world was changing, that Joyce's town of lover boys and their Jezebels had lost its voice, gone under the tides and disappeared. The new languages had sweet and bitter words that I heard when I sat beside the immigrant on the city bus, the one who will play his part in the comedies and tragedies of my old neighbourhood, whose children will someday ask, who was Peg and who was Stephen Dedalus? The new languages were added to the soundtrack of the General Post Office and Moore Street markets. They travelled so far, it was as if they came from the galaxies, not Vilnius, nor a province on the map of China, or close to where a desert journey begins, places whose story is rewritten many times until no story exists.